Everyone, and thanks for coming tonight. You know, the SDGs don't happen on their own, they happen collectively. It's everybody here. Special thanks to SVDC, who is one of our partners at ECU, and for giving us this space and all the work that they do behind the scenes. So Judy and I are going to be a tag team, and we're going to talk about the things that we do at ECU at the School of Business and Law, and where we put our actions behind our with the work that we do, both in curricular, which is where Judy's going to talk to you about the work that she does, and extracurricular, which is where I'm quite active. So what I do is Enactus, which is what this flag has been flying around in the background. We've got the president of Enactus here with us, Hasit Gadani. Enactus ECU, and I'm also going to talk to you about a carbon literacy training program that we've been working on together with Mehran Nejati as well. Both of them look at education because, you know, through knowledge we have power, and that gives us the ability to make changes. So they're quality education and around climate change and addressing the climate issue and the climate question. So Enactus stands for Entrepreneurial Action for Others, creates a better world for us all. It's a global organization. There are universities across the world in 37 countries that have got teams in their universities. They bring together student groups together with staff, and then a business advisory board who help guide the students to put the theory that they learn in the classroom into projects that are in alignment with the SDGs. So the projects could be anything. They can be dealing with a social enterprise, an environmental enterprise, or an economic one, as long as they're doing good and they're about the SDGs. And meanwhile, the student team learns a lot about how to put projects together and all the different aspects of a project. This is the team, gorgeous bunch of very diverse people, postgraduate, undergraduate from across the world. On the right there is the team showcasing their project in Sydney at the National Showcase, where they won an award for climate action, a race against climate action, and also team building activity at our ECU hub. So the vision of Enactus ECU is to turn ideas into action and to make a positive impact on the community. And what they realized in 2020 was that there was not a lot of understanding of the SDGs in the community. So lots of discussions, lots of people were consulted, a lot of stakeholder engagement, came up with the idea of a festival. And a festival to bring people together, bring a whole range of organizations together to showcase what they were doing in terms of projects and products and services, to actually engage the community to learn, but also to bring them together. These are the organizations that came together in 2021. And a few of them, as you can see, there's some very big names there. There's some local names and a lot of support from our local governments and local departments as well. 2 weekends ago, so weekend before last, we had our second Sustainability Festival at Hillary's Boardwalk on the amphitheater, and it was gorgeous. All these people came together to showcase what they were doing. We've got a few faces of people who were there. Millennial kids were there talking about environment and what that generation is doing to change for the future and for the sustainable planet. So, you know, it is about showcasing what we do. It is about sharing what we do. It's about working together, and it's about advocacy for those who are maybe not as don't have a voice. The climate, the reefs, the refugees. It's also about showing how to make a change, whether it's planting a veggie patch or looking at the whole cycle of permaculture and organic living, or it might be about clothes and what that is doing in the environment and what impact it's having in our environment and in our communities. It's also about making pledges, learning about the SDGs and then making a pledge to do something different. How to recycle better. We've all got our 3 bins, but maybe that's not enough. Maybe we need to do different things. And how do we build a future for a future world that's going to be sustainable? We involved a lot of people, and it takes a lot of people. And it takes a lot of people who give their own time, not necessarily their paid time, to actually help make a difference. So here are some of the pledges that they did, you know, shorter showers, waste less, recycle. And this lady here, Michelle, is now part of my next initiative, which is the climate literacy training project that I've been working on together with Mehran. It's a 1-day accredited journey that we've broken up into 4 sessions. And to become a carbon literate person, you learn about your greenhouse gas emissions and your carbon emissions and what activities go on and where those emissions come from. And through that, you can then address the activities you're doing and how to reduce your impact on the world. The next step is to look at your different parts of your life, calculating what does your footprint look like? What does your travel emissions look like, both locally and internationally or beyond? Household, what happens in your household? What are your light bulbs and your practices and your heating and cooling? What do they do for the environment? Your clothing, and what is offset and how does it work and does it work? Does it always work? So these are all discussed in the 2nd session. In the 3rd sessions, we talk about responsibilities, our responsibilities and our responsibilities. There's mine and then there's all of ours. And how do we work around that to find solutions and look for opportunities to make a change in the world? And really, it's about also taking action. So the 4th step of the carbon literacy training is to commit to an action plan for yourself, for the individual, and also for a group, an identified group, to try and make a better world for us all. Because it comes down to all of us. Partnerships are how we're going to do it, and it's great to see you all here. And now for Judy to talk about the in-curricular activities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nickey, for those great insights on some of the extracurricular stuff we're doing. Just before I get on to what we're doing in the curriculum, though, can everybody remember what Mick challenged us all to do? He challenged us all to identify what our responsibility was, and Nickey just spoke about that too. Business schools globally have an enormous responsibility. Businesses have to act if we're going to achieve net zero and progress on the other goals. And where does the pipeline for talent for most businesses come from? It comes from us. It comes from business schools. So we have to be responsible for producing the leaders and full workforces of the future that are carbon literate, that do give a damn about the other SDGs, and at our business school we certainly take that seriously. You can see from the bottom block of text there that in 2021 we were one of only 4 business schools globally to be rated for excellence in reporting with our impact report, and that on that report we were, thank you. With that report, we had to talk about things we were doing in our research, in our curriculum, and in our operations. So let's go on and have a look at some of the things in the curriculum. I could spend all night talking about this, but essentially there's 2 main types of things. Yes, we have some amazing specific sustainability units, but it's also important that we take a cross-disciplinary approach, because it's no good if it seems to be an add-on. So we have to embed it. And so I'm going to take you through a couple of within-discipline examples and a specific sustainability unit. So the first example I'm sharing with you, it comes from an undergraduate marketing unit. So in this unit, new product development, the students are asked to select one of those 4 SDGs, and they're required to put together a new product proposal that addresses that SDG. And this is both our students in Sri Lanka and in Australia. And the winning assessments, when they've submitted their products, get a recognition certificate, which they then proudly share on social media, therefore spreading that impact. And you can see from the quote at the bottom from my colleague who runs this unit, Dr. Greg Wilson, that this is not just about innovation, which in itself is great, but it's helping bring about that mindset in terms of benefits for the environment. And that's an example of one of the products, a prize-winning product, very much addressing the responsible consumption and production, where these undergraduate students, remember, developed an app, the Common Good app, a mobile application app enabling users to assess how ethical and sustainable their purchases are at the point of purchase. So another within discipline example, a postgraduate unit in the accounting field. Really important that we're not just training people to think as accountants to look at just a single bottom line. And so in this particular unit, the students use GRI reporting standards and look at that triple bottom line. How is the company going on an environmental, social and financial sustainability point of view? And up until now, they've been doing that from a case study basis, but next year, which is quite an exciting innovation in itself, they're going to be doing projects in partnership with industry. So really looking and working with real businesses about how to improve that triple bottom line reporting. Now, I want to spend some time talking about one of our specific sustainability units, which Dr. Mehran Najati leads, and I'm really delighted is a core unit in the MBA program that I'm responsible for. So this unit, Responsible Management, you can see from the quote at the bottom, and I will read that word for word. I've learnt so much and I'm inspired to want to make change. This unit has had a profound effect on me and I feel I found a new passion and thirst for learning. To me, there's a really deep personal impact, and ECU's mission is to transform lives. In that example, clearly there's been a positive transformation, transforming this desire to make a difference. Now, what Mehran has done over successive semesters with this unit is use a wide range of innovative platforms to really engage students in authentic and experiential learning. And very excitedly, just this month, we launched an Australian first pilot of a business simulation called the Green Business Lab. And I was delighted that Mehran asked me to be involved in that pilot. So I lived and breathed it with the students, which was a fantastic experience. So thank you, Mehran, for that opportunity. So in this pilot, the students, they act in teams of 4 or 5 students as the executive team for a particular company. That company it's set in a manufacturing setting, and they have to make a whole series of business decisions over business cycles to reduce the carbon footprint and to sort of enhance the ESG reporting of the business. So a little bit more detail about how that's run. Initially, the students did a practice cycle. So just getting familiar with the app. There were no real competitors in the market yet. There were just some competitors who were pre-populated in the app and a whole lot of data there to inform their decision making. And so they just started to get comfortable with it. And then the real competition and the real experimenting began when they went into their 3 business cycles. And in each business cycle, they had to go through the full planning for their product, manufacturing of their product, marketing of their product, all the while being informed by what were their competitors doing in terms of seeing the results of those competitors, and also being informed by an extensive amount of data that the app provides. Things like looking at the energy, the component parts of their products included, the pollution impact of the component parts, were the component parts recyclable or could they be recycled, as well as a whole lot of other data that's got in the app to inform their decision making. And then at the end of the 3 cycles, the students had to present to the board of directors. And I was delighted that Mehran asked me to be on the board of directors when the students presented. And I was so impressed by how the students were able to report on how they'd performed over the business cycles, what their future plans were, and then be grilled by the board of directors. And you could really see the transformative learning that had taken place over these cycles. And these are just a few things that students were saying about it. That it was really added value to how they viewed life, challenged them to have new ways of thinking, opportunity to think outside of the box, innovation, experiential learning. So they really, we were just so thrilled with how the students responded to participating in this pilot. Now, you don't need to see the detail on these graphs, but these show how successful their thinking was in terms of each of those graphs. The first one is actually about the energy consumption over the 3 cycles in terms of their production of their products. The second one is about the pollution impact over the 3 cycles. Both of those graphs pleasingly trending down with all of the 5 businesses that were competing against each other. And then in the third graph, you can see trending upwards one of the many financial metrics that the teams had as part of their the data that was produced through the app. So they showed that working in teams, as executive teams, making decisions, that they could enhance financial performance while also having a positive impact both in terms of on the climate, but also they were also judged on things like their labour practices and impacts on other stakeholders as well. So it really was truly a triple bottom line experience. Lots and lots of words on that slide, I know. The first, in the black box on your left, is, and I'm just going to go to the bottom of that quote. So, exploring these topics holistically has inspired me to improve myself as a person, an employee, and as a global citizen. Again, that strong impact. On the right is just a random thing that I picked up on LinkedIn 2 weeks ago. This is one of our students who studied with Maran 12 months ago, and the impact is continuing, and she's just thrilled about how she's able to enhance her, use those insights gained from her sustainability unit in the workplace. I do think the future looks really bright. This is just 2 months ago, in fact last month, September, the Australian Business Deans Council appointed a Climate Action Fellow. And that shows that collectively in Australia, business schools are taking this seriously, and that's to help drive that collaboration with different stakeholders. And we certainly take that responsibility seriously, and will continue across our curriculum, across our research, to make an impact. These are not Mick's kids. These are my grandsons. And I want to thank you all for giving a damn and for caring and for being here to make a change on behalf of my beautiful grandsons. And I'm going to steal some words from Enactus because, like Nickey, I'm really passionate about Enactus. And I love this line: with a head for business and a heart for the world, we truly can make the world a better place than we found it. So thank you for all caring.